Alright lads, so here we are for round number 9 of the F1 2014 Career Mode Championship here in Silverstone. As you can see, we qualified in 7th place. I tried playing around with the setup a little bit. Silverstone, just the way that the handling model is and the way that the track is, I had to go for lower downforce. And it seems like this Ferrari doesn't quite suit lower downforce in comparison to some of the tracks where we put on extra downforce. So we'll need to play around with that and find a setup that is comfortable for us. So here we are in our pre-race lobby. We've got a 52% chance of rain to occur sometime over the course of this race. So that'll be interesting to manage, starting on the option tyres and then going to primes for us. I think it was a 2-stop or was it a 1-stop? I wasn't too sure on that one. But looking at the front wing here, I was talking about the sort of instability we were having in qualifying, and I've decided to go with 3-1. I believe I ran with 5-1 and then I moved it down to 4-1 in Q3. So we'll see how we go as we head into the race. Hopefully we can get off to a good start. Wish me luck. Alright, so here we are in Silverstone, waiting for those 5 red lights to go out, starting from P7. Hopefully we can get off into the top 5 maybe, and away we go straight up into second gear to try and minimise that wheel spin. We get off the starts, and look at the overheating of the rear tyres. Even though we dulled the revs, we still got a massive surge of heat going through those rear tyres, going up the middle of, was it Nico Hülkenberg and Sebastian Vettel, now up into P4 as we got the inside of our teammate. This has been a fantastic start so far. Once again, the AI not being too clever off the starts. We try and take a really nice flowing run through this left-hander here, and it looks like we might jump Ricciardo if we have better straight line speed, losing the rear end there on the exit of that corner. And you'll notice that throughout the course of this race, we do have a lot of, I guess, oversteer, and it's not entirely comfortable to manage. It was alright in qualifying when the grip was up and the fuel loads were down, but in the race it could be a massive problem in terms of tyre wear if we can't, control that rear end. We can see Daniel trying to come back at us as we head up to, is it Copse, the old turn 1? Yes it is, and looks like he just slots in behind for now. So next up is Lewis Hamilton, once again getting off to one of his beastly starts. I found in this game you really need to burn all the fuel in the first couple of laps, because that's when the AI sort of either runs standard or lean in terms of their revs. So that's when you make up all your time, get the track position, and then defend for the rest of the stint. We'll see how we go in terms of tyre wear as well. I've heard that Silverstone this year isn't quite as bad in terms of tyre wear, as we're in the slipstream of Hamilton and we go straight up the inside, coming into Stowe, and now we have the lead of the Grand Prix. Hamilton just really not fighting there. We take the lead, and now lap 7 we can see Sebastian Vettel has got himself up into second and now first as he backs out of it, coming into, I'm not even sure what this corner name is. I always forget that corner name, so I apologise about that. Either way, we've got 21 runners in the Grand Prix. Vettel now coming back at us once again on this first of 2 DRS straights, and Hamilton seemingly dropping off the pace a little bit. It seems like Vettel with his higher downforce is definitely quick at the moment, as we got the inside of him trying to hold around the outside through this corner as well, and it looks like we might just about get it done, but Vettel has a really nice exit as well. It seems like at the back end of this first stint, the AI really have superior traction, especially on the rear end, and it's proving to be very tough to keep them behind, especially through that first sector. Especially coming through, it was a turn 3 and 4 when you lead up to that first DRS straight. It seems like the AI just have so much traction. And then again, coming out of the final corner, Hamilton just comes out of nowhere, just gets a really nice run, and he has the inside line for turn 1, and then he just completely backs out of it there. So that's really frustrating, something that definitely needs to be rectified for F1 2015. The AI just seemingly always back out of moves up the inside, especially into fast corners. But as you can see, lap 14, the rain has almost come out of nowhere. We got warnings from the engineer. I forgot to tell you guys about that. But it seems like the rest of this race could potentially be a wet race, and this might shake up things a little bit. It seems like, especially in the races I've done so far in F1 2014, you need higher downforce to make lap time in the wet. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to really play into the AI's favour here, because for whatever reason, Codemasters have given the AI traction control, or what it seems like traction control, and that's going to make them even quicker in the rain. So our rear wheel spin, our oversteer is only going to be made worse in the wet weather here. So we'll see how that goes. Lap 16, we can see pretty much everyone else making their stops. We undercutted them and they stayed out a little bit too long on the dry tyres, and seemingly they lost a lot of time because of that. But lap 18, a few laps later, it's actually got a lot worse than what it was before, so we need to come in for a set of wets on this lap, and I assume that the AI behind me will follow me in for another pit stop. So in the course of what, 4 laps, it went from intermediates to, or almost dry, to full wet conditions. So it looks like for the rest of this race it's going to be pretty depressing for me trying to keep these AI cars behind, because in the last few laps I think Rosberg had a 6 or 7 second gap behind me, and now he's caught me by 3 seconds in a very short space of time. So lap 23, I think we can see Sebastian Vettel has got himself up into second. We've made a mistake coming through the exit of the S's, and now it looks like Vettel is going to have a run on me on the back straight, and it looks like he's going to take the lead of the Grand Prix. We'll put it up into fast to try and maintain this position for as long as we can, and I have a feeling here that we might be building up a bit of a train here if we can't find any more pace in this race car. So coming into the club section, and Vettel is going around the outside of us. We'll have to leave him room on the exit, and he takes the lead of the race for now. It's still side by side as we head into the final corner, and Vettel just completely backs out of it. So once again, the AI just backing out of a move that they could have easily made stick. But either way, we maintain first for now as Hülkenberg now takes the lead of this race, and now Rosberg trying to go around the outside on the back straight. I can't stress this enough, the traction around this track right now is absolutely horrendous with no assists. Trying to keep these cars behind me is near impossible. As you can see, they're just flying past. The only defense I really have is that I'm really good under brakes, and the slipstream is also helping me in trying to get back past them. So that's really the only defense I have right now in the wet. I'm going to hope that it kind of dries out very soon, but that's looking like a very slim chance at the moment. As we can see, losing the back end once again on the straight. Rosberg flies past us, and he takes the lead of the race. We'll try and go around the outside into whatever corner this name is. Let me know in the comments. I always forget what this corner name is, so that'd be much appreciated. But I'm just trying to, play around with different driving techniques, trying to use higher gears at some spots, but still the rear traction is absolutely horrendous as we lose the back end, trying to lap Daniel Kvyat, and that was just ridiculous. There's just absolutely no grip right now. I just can't stress it enough how difficult it is to drive like this in these conditions. Rosberg trying to go up the inside, coming into Maggotsbeck and Chapel, but nothing really comes of it. It's not really an overtaking place unless you're like side by side. As we make another mistake, we've just got so much understeer on corner entry, and then on exit we just have so much oversteer because there's no rear downforce as well. So it's pretty much the worst case scenario we've got right now. As we try and go up the inside of Rosberg, he leaves the room, and we go side by side through Stowe. But look at him with his traction, he just flies right past, and we might try and go up the inside into the club section, and we do, and we get the job done. Back into P1, we can see there's about a 4 or 5 car train emerging behind us as there's about 20 laps to go now. Bottas has got himself up into second place as those guys behind me, they were really battling quite a bit. You don't really see it on the highlights, but just all the cars behind me just really battling. And I guess that's just what happens in trains of cars. Sometimes the AI gets side by side with each other, and then they just, they just completely blow up in terms of lap time when they get side by side with each other, as you guys know. But lap 35, thankfully the track is now starting to get drier. The rain is starting to ease up. It's time to go to the intermediate tyres, and who knows, if it continues like this, we could see a finish on dry tyres. So hopefully this could work out for us as we switch to the inters. We got a whole train of cars behind us. We might get held in the pits. No, we don't. 3.7 seconds, so we maintain the lead of the Grand Prix for now. A lot of cars behind me having to stack, so that might help me as well in terms of the Mercedes, who had 2 cars in a fairly, similar track position. Hamilton was the car behind Rosberg, so he's going to lose a lot of time as we come out of the pits. It looks like it's very wet as we lose the back end on intermediate tyres. I think the engineer has sent me out a little bit too early. The AI with their traction control can stay out on much wetter conditions, and look at that, Bottas just flies right past. Look at that, the track is just still too wet for intermediate tyres at the moment, and look at that rear traction Hülkenberg has. He just flies right past us, and I think Rosberg is going to follow him as well. So this is really frustrating. We need to wait out maybe 2 or 3 laps before these intermediate tyres can work, as both cars in front of us there just completely back out of that corner in the copse. And now lap 36, Hulkenberg flying up her inside. Once again, Rosberg going to the outside, and it's almost going to be 3 wide here coming into Stowe. But we maintain second place for now as Hulkenberg brakes really early. We completely miss that apex, and Rosberg flies through for second place. And Hulkenberg is going to go around the outside into the club section. And once again, trying to hold it side by side with these guys. We leave them the room. Look at that rear traction of us. Just absolutely no purchase with the rear tyres. But still, we maintain P3 for now. I'm just really hoping the track dries out. It looks like it's slowly starting to do that. So hopefully maybe 1 or 2 laps time we should be fully optimized in terms of the track temperatures and the amount of water that's standing on the racetrack at the moment. We can see Fernando Alonso got around our outside coming into Copse now, and he's up into the podium position. So the sooner it gets drier, then the sooner we can start to attack and maybe gain some positions once again. So we'll see how that goes. Normally once it gets to intermediate conditions and the rain stops, it's normally a very quick process going from inters to a dry track. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully I can sort of stay with Alonso here. I'm sort of trying to burn a lot of fuel to stay with him, because I think I'm just about on the verge of getting some track position and lap time back and grip back. So we'll see how that goes. Marcus Ericsson just blocking us on the apex there. That is the worst possible place you could probably let someone through, just parking it on the apex there. But now lap 40, only a few laps later than when we were struggling and when the inters weren't working. Once again, they're sort of not working again because the track is too dry. But this time, Alonso, he's lost so much time. He had about a 4-second lead. He's lost 2 or 3 seconds on this lap alone. So the AI seemingly can't drive around on inters on a drying track, whereas I can. And this has really played into my favor here. But I have to come in at the same time as Alonso, because I felt like the next lap would have been the complete crossover in terms of dry tyres. So I'll take the pain now. I'll stack behind Alonso and I'll put on the option tyres to go to the finish. If I would have stayed out for that extra lap, I would have lost maybe 10-15 seconds at least. So pit stop, it's already cost us a lot of time, maybe 5 or 6 seconds. But thankfully, it's not a too long one, only 4.5 seconds in terms of the actual stop. We drop about 3 or 4 places there. We drop behind Hamilton, who stacked behind Rosberg in the previous stint. So this is going to be interesting. We need to pass a lot of cars early on here to maybe attack at Alonso near the end, but we're going to have a lot of pace in the dry here. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. If we remember to the start of the race, we did suffer with a lot of oversteer. So we'll see how we go at the end of this race on a lower fuel load if we can make this work. So lap 42, we're going around the outside of Hamilton, and it looks like he's getting held up by a couple cars in front here of Ricciardo, and I'm guessing Nico Hulkenberg. I'll have to wait and see as Hamilton has a look there on the exit of Chapel there. And now in the slipstream of Ricciardo. The DRS is now active, and now we can try and fly past Nico Hulkenberg as well. We've gone from 7th all the way up to 4th in just a matter of corners here on lap 42. Now let's try and attack Fernando Alonso if we can. It looks like we have a lot of pace and a lot of confidence after that wet period. It seems like the car is just an absolute dream to drive right now in dry conditions. It's somehow just given me extra confidence to push even more at the back end of this race. And setting a 1:34.6. I think that was faster than my qualifying time. So that's just ridiculous pace we're showing at the moment. Setting purple lap after purple lap. We finally caught Alonso on lap 47, who was 7 or 8 seconds up the road when we came out of the pits. So to make up that much time on Alonso is simply almost outstanding and a miracle in a way. But I think what's happened here is Valtteri Bottas, who was leading the race, he must be nursing either fuel problems or he must have some kind of mechanical problem, because look at him, he's parking the bus so much. Nico Rosberg can't get past him, Alonso can't get past him either. So now we're going to try and pounce on Alonso around the outside through, I think it's Brooklands. Let me know in the comments. I am absolutely terrible at remembering that corner name. Either way, we're in the podium positions. There's only a couple laps left to go. Rosberg is still stuck behind Bottas, who is nursing some kind of problem, maybe even brakes, as we run wide on the exit of Copse. Getting very cranky with myself there. But this time we'll have the DRS, and we'll try and get past Rosberg at least, maybe even Bottas as well if he's nursing some kind of problem. We tuck out of the slipstream, we have the DRS, and now we're tucking into the slipstream of Bottas, and we've gone from 3rd all the way up to 1st in just one straight. That is absolutely ridiculous. And from there, the AI just had no answer. Alonso finally got past Rosberg, and he got past Bottas as well, who finally dropped off the back of those cars. So definitely some kind of problem for Bottas, but somehow, after losing so much time in the pit stops, we dropped 8 seconds, and out of nowhere, we've come home to win the British Grand Prix.
What a race, that's a win.
So there we go, out of nowhere, we have won the British Grand Prix, making it a Ferrari 1-2, the first of the season as well. If that doesn't deserve a like, then I don't know what does. Nico Rosberg 3rd, Lewis Hamilton comes home in 4th, Valtteri Bottas managed to secure 5th place after nursing his problems in the dying laps of this Grand Prix, and Sebastian Vettel, after starting off so well, having so much pace in the wet, has finished in 10th place, so I'm not too sure what happened with Seb. But either way, it's been a fantastic race in the end. A lot of cars going a lap down, such is the disparity between some of the performances of some cars in the wet, but in the driver's standings, we're now 16 points clear of Lewis Hamilton in a Mercedes. Fernando still in 3rd with 123 points as well, with Nico Rosberg not too far behind in 4th place. So that's been the British Grand Prix here in Silverstone for Season 1 of F1 2014 Career Mode. Until the next race in Germany, I'll see you guys next time.